Okay, so today was a pretty productive day, and it's just starting, as you can see. So this is the number 1 intelligent. It's not number 1 inteligencia. It's actually the English one. And I don't even know if I ever made a video on it. We're gonna actually check that real quick. But I got this one back in 2021, and I always thought it had a severe issue where it was dead. It was just, every movement, every motor, everything about it. Let's see, let's actually look it up. Intelligent. According to this, I never made a video. Therefore, this is the first video on it. So, this robot was, it's a later version of the number 1 Intelligent, apparently, where the head actually moves when you start it up. And nothing worked on it. Feet did not work. One of the feet was broken off badly, and I actually took the parts from my first number 1 Intelligent, well, Spanish one. Because I have, this one was from 2012. It was the very first one I got that had dinosaurs in the chest. And one of the legs in this one was completely broken off. I had to change the feet shells, and that was about it. And from there, the robot was practically complete. It doesn't have the remote, but who cares? I have a couple remotes now. I have the one from Megasonico, which is right there. And I have the one from my Spanish one. That's why this one says time, because it's from this one. Anyway, I'll make a video on that one at some point. It's pretty cool. But it's got a few missing parts, like the discs and the top cover. So, this one, I got it back in 2021, like I said 3 times already, I believe, and it did nothing. It just lit up, made sounds. The eyes, the only thing that lit up in the entire robot were just the eyes. So, at first I thought, okay, there's wires off, maybe stuck motors. Easy peasy. No. And this has to do with an older issue that I really want to explain on these robots, and I'm actually going to pull out some pictures of my previous packaging. I'm gonna actually pull out some old pictures of my original one, because this one actually it's different. It's got an SMD component, but it still has kind of the same issue. So let's see. These are old ass pictures from 10 years ago, I believe. And this is the circuitry off the older one that has all transistors, capacitors, everything's physical, and you can see it. Now, among every single physical thing there's a certain resistor, which, if my memory does not fool me, I thought it was on this side, it's on this side. This resistor over here. And this is, I believe, the ground for everything in the robot. Because when this is fucked, and it would happen to my first one, the robot would just not turn on. It wouldn't activate at all. Or if you took it off, per se, it would just not do anything. Either that, or you let it cool down and it started up again. I can't remember what the hell happened to my first one, but that board is no longer with me, sadly. Anyways, this one has a similar issue. Only that when that actually gets fucked, it's not the resistor itself, even though it was actually preheated, like it looked burned. There's a diode. There's one of those, I believe it's a glass diode before that, and that's what gave out, which it's not the first time I see a diode giving out on something. I have I don't know if I've ever said it, I'm pretty sure I said it before. I have this one Mickey Mouse ladder that's got all the characters, and every single one, the motor was shorted because the diode, for some reason, just got shorted out. And I've had the diode issue many times. So to make it short, this diode over here, you see that? Yeah, this diode died. And when it died, it made almost every single motor in this damn thing to stop working, just like that. And I didn't know that. Like, I knew that when I made a bridge, because later on what I did is I shorted this. When I shorted this diode, the screen started working. The mouth did not work because there was a wire that was cut because some idiot tried to open the head, and next thing you know, When you close the head, wire got caught, and it just got snipped. So that was the thing. Now, by the time this was fixed, I didn't have any motor connected to it. None of the motors were still connected. They were not hooked up. I was like, okay, that's dead, but that should be independent. Little did I know that this probably also gives the ground to every single motor driver this toy has. It uses the TC117HS, which I was trying to buy internationally at some point. Thank God I didn't. And at the time, what I had done was I took this one out, and I measured, I measured the signals. Like, I basically just hooked up a red LED, and it actually gave out the signal. So these two are the signals, and everything else is just driven. Now, the problem with this was, like I said, this was fucked. When I shorted this, the first thing that happened right away was the chest screen started working. Now you can see it was kind of burnt. So it's a very common issue with these robots that something just gives out. This is the video from before anything. Oh, actually, I'm going to show the video of what it did before, because I actually do have the video of what it did. This is everything it did. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Only the eye lights worked. And like I said, after a bit of tinkering last year, somewhere like, yeah, it was July of last year. Actually, it was just a full year now, because it's like 18. Yeah, it was like a year and 9 days ago. I just went, oh, wait, let's check this out. And to my surprise, I got the screen to work. So I got all of that trace to work. That means I got the shoulder lights, the neck light, because if you know, you know. These robots have everything. Like, they have a motor that runs constantly, which is this one for the chest screen. To that, you have the light bulb that's inside the chest. You've got the neck light, as I call it, color light, neck light, the stuff that's in there, and you've got both bicolor LEDs all connected to the motor that's being powered. So all of that works, and like I said, by that time I had fixed the mouth thing. Now, what I had done at the time was I was like, okay, fine. I'm pretty sure the motors just don't work, so everything is just straight up disconnected. And I took this out. This was the driver for the head. The head was still connected, but the driver for the head was taken off. So, I had no clue. This was just pulling out. This was trying to make this work, and it was enabled to make it work because the driver itself was gone. If it would have had one of these, like if it would have been one of these, I would have been like, okay, it's working. Oh my God, it's working. What the hell's going on? And I would have had it fixed by last year. These are the mistakes that I do. They're very basic mistakes, but you end up learning. The one mistake I recommend you never to do, and this is completely unrelated, you know those fiber optic things like the Bandor Santas and all the other crap that uses a small like sealed motor, sometimes the motor is going to be fucked. Sometimes you have the wrong adapter to it and it uses AC and not DC. Take care of that, but that's a whole different situation. Like I said, going back to this, I was going to buy these components off eBay, and guess what? I didn't, and thank God I didn't, because it's completely functional. Let's have a look at it. So, I just forgot about this. The disc launcher is completely independent from all of this, so it still worked. It was the one only motor that actually worked. So as the seller didn't have the remote, they didn't know that the disc launcher still worked. But yeah, now everything works, and what I'm doing right now, because I had an issue, and I thought it was the motor coil. because this is something that I tried replacing. This is one I took from my parts box, and it was too fast. The head just went like that. There was an issue where the motor was, well, the head actually was turning fine to one side, but to the other side it was barely turning, and I thought at first that was because of the motor. Took it out, tested the motor, and the motor works very, like, there's a bit of a speed change when you put it in one polarity and then you change the polarity. And no, it's not the capacitor. I took it out to try it out because it's got a 104 capacitor there. But no, it's not that. The problem was, and still is, so these gear, like, if you've ever seen a video of these, when the head gets to here, to the, to the limit, and the motor tries to turn more to there, it'll just click. It'll make a clicking sound. It's this clutch. There's a clutch over here, and if you turn it hard enough, it's gonna click. Now for that clutch, there's a spring. It's a spring-loaded clutch. And for that spring-loaded clutch, there's a retainer over there that, as you can see, it's clearly cracked. So that was doing unnecessary pressure on the top wall where the shaft goes. Now, by the way, this is a Turbo Fighter walking gear. Like this, okay, it's its original gear, but it's compatible. It's the same exact size and modulus. And what I have to do right now, I have to either 3D print it or glue it, or I don't know. But as you can tell, that's a crack. Once that's solved, the robot's gonna fully work. Completely, like, completely. And I'm gonna have to later on take it apart, clean it properly, because it's not properly repaired yet, but hey, it works. And I thought it had dead components. Just one. One dead component did all of this. Delayed the repair for 3 fucking consecutive years. You stupid robot. You very, very dumb robot. No wonder they don't make it anymore. Or do they? I don't know, because I know they make exclusive versions, but I don't know if they still make it. Probably not, so.